We're live.
It's like throwing up the rock.
Girls rule the world. You see that?
Gang, gang!
You see that? Girls rule the world. Don't snatch.
King of
That's not
gurus
polite.
rule the universe. And that's how you roll.
Yeah. God don't like ugly.
Dang it!
That's what you get.
Man!
That's what you got.
Don't be a waste man. Where's
Don't
my
touch me.
where's
Don't
my
touch me, Mom.
coins?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Where are my coins?
Don't touch me, Mom.
Where are my coins?
Don't touch me.
Daisy ate the coin.
Nope.
Man, how y'all doing tonight, man?
My coin. Boom.
That coin don't work the same.
Whatever.
That coin don't work the same. Man, how y'all doing tonight?
Oh, Lord.
What is the darn deal? What is going down? You know what? I think the thing that I want to like show everybody today is that like there's like so much going on, but nothing's going on as far as like, you know, the news that I want to see or the news that's like I think that I want to hear. But it's not that there's not good news out there. And if you look at the news for what it is, then you can really see for yourself that the news is actually spectacular on a lot of means. But to a lot of people, it's going to be like, well, dang, there's nothing going on. But man, they are passing so many laws. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail that I posted up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and but it's two butterflies. One butterfly looks like Iraq and one butterfly looks like Kuwait. You got to remember, Kuwait is acting like a big brother to Iraq right now. And they're like helping them get on set, especially for the oil and gas and some other trade and stuff. But really, they're getting them on track for the whole mentorship as far as the reinstatement goes, because Kuwait's been through it. Kuwait knows what it is. They know how it needs to be done, and they've prepared Iraq. I think they've kind of like gone to them. And the reason why, if you guys know, I'm wearing a NASA shirt because this ain't rocket science. You don't need any crazy knowledge or anything. All you got to do is do a little bit of homework. Read the information, understand what you're reading, and like Principal Lex, shout out to Prince Lex, shout out to El Boogie. That's my father-daughter team out there. Shout out to them. Prince Lex asked me the other day, she said, Mr. Brando, you know, she didn't really like, you know, get something. I said, man, you know how many times I read an article sometimes? I might read one article like 8 times. I get tons of news, but I might read one article 8 times because it's so crucial that you understand what you're reading. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to say my level of comprehension is, you know, off the chain. I'm just saying that my level of understanding of where I'm at, because I've read so many articles, is that I know what I'm looking for, keywords. And I used to hear that a lot amongst YouTubers back in the day. I don't like the word guru. I hate the word guru. I know guru means teacher and guru means this, but it has such a negative connotation inside of this investment that I don't ever want to be associated with a guru. But what I would want to be associated with is like somebody to sort of say, well, dang, this dude read articles and they understood where they were at based upon the knowledge in hand. And that's where I was. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to read it and get it for what it was. Now, the last time I left you, I showed you guys proof of the IMF. I showed you proof of the SBA. I don't think that there's any question of that. We've gone over the Minister of Education. Now, we know there's a minister in place, but we also know that that minister obviously is a sacrificial lamb, so to speak. They're going to go ahead and do away with them. They're not going to have them be in the same capacity that they are. But you know what I forgot to do?
Introduction.
What's your name?
Introduce yourself.
Who is you?
Right.
Who's your people?
Introduce yourself. All right.
Who is your people? What set you claiming?
Oh, I don't claim nothing.
Bang my line.
I can't claim life, and I'm living it.
I can't kangaroos for life.
In God. I am April BB.
And I am Mr. Brando. And welcome to the
Busting out the bando.
Coming out the bando. Freaking out the bando.
Anyway.
Hair look like can't.
Look at his hair, y'all. He think he Offset.
Offset think he me.
We gonna call him Mr. Brando Reset.
You better call me Reset. Shoot, in my line of work, that's a compliment. Call me Reset and call me V-Set. Game, set, match. Shoot. I'm playing for keepsy marbles in here. You in here making jokes. I'm playing for real dollars.
Me too. Let me know when to run to the bank.
I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You got to keep up with the news.
Hey, James R.
Shoot.
What's up, Steve-O?
Hey, yo, it's Steve. Oh, now, I was back to what I was saying. So we got back to the IMF. We got back to the SBA, our roots, right? We got back to reading. You're going to hear a lot tonight about special grades. You're going to hear a lot tonight about Kurdistan. You're going to hear a lot tonight about Kuwait. You're going to hear a lot tonight about there's a special arrangement for 2030. I actually downloaded it, and I'm going to read part of it to you because a lot of it all interacts together. And you can't skip one thing. Remember, if a benchmark is set, right? So like benchmarks being this, like we know they have to have a fully seated government. We know they have to have Article 140 dumb implemented. We know they had to pay Kuwait something. They did that anyway. We know they have to have a active and functioning GOI, a functioning alleviation to the auction. They have to have what else did I say they needed? I wrote it. What do you have the list anymore now?
The list?
Yeah,
the list. The little list I did when I asked you what was left to be done.
Fully seated GOI, special grades. I'd love to see the CBI governor. HCL. HCL is already in play. We know that. We know that Article 140 is in play. We know that Kuwait's been paid. They only owe them one more payment. So when people come back to me every day and say, well, what's the date? What's the date? Well, the date is we're waiting for the HCL to be completed. We're waiting for a fully seated GOI. And that's really basically, in my opinion, it. I may be missing one or two things. That could be it. But I think some of this information. Oh, hey, Wet Nose Daisy. How you doing, baby? She jumped. Hey, Wet Nose. The idea is that everything is set. The stage has been, like, you got to feel it's like a Broadway play, okay? I thought about this earlier. I was like, man, I had an epiphany earlier about dividends. I had an epiphany earlier about how I wanted the Kangaroo Group to go, and I posted all this stuff early, and then I went dark on them. And shout out to my Kangaroo crew. Shout out almost 200 of them. We decided a lot of things amongst the crew that we're going to cut it off when we hit a certain number. That's going to be the main crew. Secondary crew is going to be totally different after the reinstatement. I'm going to let certain people in, but certain people are not going to be allowed in and not to be able to join because we want to be able to take this to another level. Oh, Moy. That's my daughter, Moy. She said, thanks for all the love and support from my father and my mother and stepmom. Ah! Love that kid. Gang, gang, bug.
She working on that dog.
Yeah, she's trying to get her a new dog, y'all. She wanted her a new dog, so she says, Daisy, she needs a new dog.
Daisy, you fired. Okay,
so Berzani went on Tuesday, called on 3 authorities to seek activate the oil and gas law to reach a decision agreement on the economic crisis between the region and the center for 16 years. You got to understand, once the ACL, not the Article 140, but once HCL is launched, that is a countrywide enactment of what we need to see. Now, this is where you got the chicken and the egg, okay? So do they reenact the law and pay them in and not reinstated monies, or do they go ahead and reinstate the currency and pay them afterwards? I think it's the latter of the two because it holds more weight. And everything that Iraq is doing right now is either to lower the note count, control the note count, destroy old bills, or to get more people in the bank for inclusion. Now, you're going to look back and say, well, that's not sexy. That's not big time news. That's Dinar World 101. Lower the note count, control the note count, get rid of those old bills, get the citizens in the bank, and control how much X flow of cash goes out. Get everybody on that type of banking system, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're at the bank, okay? Utilizing and understand what the lower denominations mean, okay? Sorry, I had to put my hair up. And understand where they are. I think Iraq took a big page out of Barzani. And I'm not a Barzani fan. The Barzani family is a bunch of thieves. They're a bunch of derelicts. They're a bunch of jerks. But you know what? They know how to form a government and keep their people in line. That's the difference between a Barzani and like a Maliki. Maliki was greedy and wanted to be a rock star. Barzani's greedy and wants to be a rock star, but he waited till he got in power, did everything he needed to do to look good in front of the face of the people, and then stole from them. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. And I guess a lot of people, and like you're going to see a lot of stuff about Abadi. Abadi is trying to complete his ministerial cabinet before Parliament. We know that they want to have this done before the 20th. The 20th is on a Saturday. On the Friday, that is the date before the SBA. In my opinion, like I've said, this is the Halloween to me. This is not Thanksgiving. This is not Christmas other than our world. This is the Halloween. To me, this is a big relative date because my date, like if I was going to throw out a date, I don't do rates, but I was going to throw out a date, is the end of the month. If I don't see anything happen by the end of the month, then we're going to be talking about news. You feel me? Until the fall. And that's my opinion. Probably September, October. That's my opinion. Or I could be wrong. I mean, you want to be real? Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be real? Don't be real. But I'm just telling you guys, I would love to see something happen. Or I would love to see someone say the HCL is enacted. Or I would love for someone to see, if they didn't get everything done, if the HCL got enacted, I would love to see that. I would love to see that they're going to launch finally the ISX. That's another benchmark. I think it's huge. I forgot that one. ISX got launched. And ISX, speaking of which, shout out to George. George is doing a good job with that. He's posted up all the stocks and stuff. Good job, George. Good job, Andy. Good job, that team. They're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. They got hated on and shitted on, crapped on before, but they're doing a decent job. I don't like the way they handled some things, but some things they've handled okay. I will say this about the HCL. If you see the HCL, if you see the lower denominations, now because we've seen the 25, the 50,000, the 10,000, 5,000 with new security measures, I am primed at the prompt to see more lower denominations come out. I think you're ready now. I think they're ready now to reveal to the world that they're going to reinstate their currency and it's going to have a nominal value. There's a big problem, though, with the Minister of Education. They keep saying they got one, they don't got one. I know there's one in place. I know his name. I know where he's at. We've proven that.
You think he's temporary?
Yeah, he was a sacrificial lamb. You see what I'm saying? I don't think he ever had a chance. The girl was supposed to get the spot and the girl didn't. You know what I'm saying? The woman, I shouldn't say girl. That's sexist. The woman that was supposed to get the spot, she was found that her brother and her dad had something to do with Ba'ath and with ISIS, and they did it on purpose. That was what you call a political like espionage. I think they set her up. You know what I'm saying? I think the powers that be did because they needed to finish some things. And if you notice, if you go through the news, that everything is geared towards the citizen right now. Laws. They passed a law today about the companies that do deposits. They have a guarantee. There's a lot of things going on that are crucial. I'm going to read it to you, but the House of Representatives intensifies its sessions to legislate important laws. Fadal during a special statement, POK. One of the most important laws is the amendment of the provincial election law, district information, communication, crimes, and other drafts. That was big. Financial Department reveals the surplus funds budget Iraq is in the first of its kind. Iraq is going to hit record numbers for a couple months until they figure out, OPEC figures out how to get oil and gas under control. If they can never get oil and gas under control, meaning that it doesn't hit that, I guess, I don't know what oil, do you know what oil is right now? I don't know what oil is right now. I didn't look at it. I didn't look at the future. I didn't look at the dates like that because I don't look at oil and gas to be a trigger to this. Like, they don't need a high per barrel per day to reinstate their currency, because you gotta look at this one way. If they have a low per barrel per day and they reinstate their currency, they can cover their bills. If they have a high per barrel per day, then that just covers everything else. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? That's the questions you got to ask yourself. What will be the impact from the second consultation of Article 4 in Iraq on Friday by the IMF? Zach, that is the $4 million question. Number one of three things is going to happen. They're going to pass them and tell them they're doing a good job and that they're ready to reinstate their currency because that's part of what they're voting on. And the IMF does have a vote in that. We read you that. or they're going to tell them that, no, you got to clear up these things to get ready. Now, in my opinion, because of the hurry up and run procedure by Iraq right now, they're trying to get everything done. I think they're going to pretty much say, look, you're pretty much ready to go. Just reinstate their currency. Here's the rate, blah, blah, blah. You're ready to roll. And that'd be just in time for the June 27th UN, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it'll hit the operational rate side, or it could go a couple days past that and go all the way to the end of the month to cure speculators so nobody runs on the currency. But the demand is there for a float. So if they reinstated it and went straight to a float, I believe it'd be a dirty float. They let it go as high as they can because, again, they want to get as many of those 3-0 notes off the ground. Mm-hmm. So if they could gather up as much of them from especially outside of Iraq at that point, it'd be a huge feather in keeping the note count low and keeping the value high to keep the predators out of Iraq.
Good boy.
Another stall again. Same as.
Yeah. That's what he said your shirt stood for.
Same as you're a hater. Parliament should warn of significant financial security losses to Iraq in the event of closure of Washington. If the embassy closes in Washington, the biggest fear is that because Washington doesn't have a footprint in Iraq, that business as it is would kind of stop. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is that you want they often close those embassies because of security measures. Pompeo's cleared that place out, basically cut down just essential personnel. Understand this. I would love to see the embassy open right when they do this big thing in Bahrain. When they do this big talk in Bahrain coming here at the end of the month or whatever it is, I think it's the end of the month. I'll read it in a second. But I would love to see the embassy open and be back for business, getting all non-essential personnel back in there, because really what that means at that point is that they're safe. No one's worried about bombing and stuff like that. Iran has to come to the table. Iran has to come to the table because even though the mullahs are egotistical and arrogant, but you know what? They are a country and they still have brethren there. I don't think they'd starve their people out, you know what I'm saying? And in spite of, but they have so far. So don't put anything past Iran except for don't expect war. Expect one of their little puppets like the Brotherhood or Hamas or someone else to try to spark some incident in the Middle East before the actual peace talks can begin discussing the threat of Iran, because what they're eventually going to do is get the whole
NASA stands for
not a straight answer. You guys leave my NASA shirt alone.
James R. and Robert B. said that.
We landed on the moon. Okay, so the meeting was held. Hold on. Formation of 4 committees to develop relations, increase trade between Iraq and Kuwait. Kuwait is going to be a huge asset to Iraq. This meeting was held with the Kuwait side in the port of Abdali for the Swafan. Sorry, my Arabic is horrible. And no disrespect to the good people of Iraq. For the purpose of reviewing the field of port, which must be different from what it is now, especially as the coming period will witness more cooperation and increase in the volume of trade exchange in the light of common desire and instance to overcome all obstacles. So meaning that once you get out of that port, you go through the Strait of Hormuz without any fear of Iran or any of their attacks. And once they've been opening this port forever now, if you guys paying attention to this port has been coming open forever. But Kuwait signing on to help out. Today is a historic day as the first delegation visits Basra to extend cooperation with the Republic of Iraq, said Kuwaiti Minister of Trade and Industry. And between Ramadan, the economic exchange is a basic of subject. We saw today at the port another modern. It's a shameful to be an outlet, and we lack the establishment of good outlets, and we have recommendation to build these outlets after completion of design. So what they're saying is they want to redo it. They want to build it bigger. They want to build it better. Remember, geographically, Iraq is basically in the center of Europe, or whatever the Eastern Hemisphere, as far as China all the way to Europe goes. They're a huge port that can be of huge interest, kind of like how New York is the gateway port, or Miami is the gateway port, how Texas is a gateway port, and New Orleans is a gateway port, Mississippi has gateway ports. But, the big ports being like Los Angeles, New York, Miami, you see what I'm saying? Like Seattle. Those are that's what they're trying to make Iraq, like a major, major port for all institutions. And you got to understand, if you have tariffs and taxes coming through there, when all those ships come in there to do their thing, refuel, not fuel, that taxes and tariffs are going to go in there. So those people are going to go and say, well, What goods do you have on the ship? Well, we have this. Well, you got to pay a tariff to come in here to fuel and do whatever you need to do. They're going to get paid from that. That's another huge non-oil revenue that a lot of people aren't taking advantage of when the actual open port or more free trade system in Iraq happens. Okay, so
someone asked, what's HCL?
The hydrocarbon law. Hydrocarbon law. Bahrain, officially the king of Bahrain, is an island country in the Persian Gulf. The sovereign state comprises a small archipelago centered around Bahrain Island, situated between the Qatar Peninsula and the northern eastern coast of Saudi Arabia. I say that to say this. Washington, Bahrain will host an international meeting on the Iranian threat. Iran will host an international meeting to discuss confronting the Iranian threat. The U.S. envoy for Iran, Brian Hockey, said Monday during a meeting of the council, which also attended by Bahrain Minister Khalid bin Khalifa. Hawk said Wednesday that the meeting will be held to develop the conference held in Warsaw last February to discuss the Iranian threat. The invitation to participate will be addressed to all 65 countries that attend the meeting in Warsaw. The United States wants more Middle Eastern countries to participate in the United States initiative to secure navigation in the Gulf, he said. The United States has announced that it's seeking to form an international alliance to secure navigation. Yeah, because you know what? America doesn't need to be the man, I'm stuttering.
The enforcer?
Yeah, the enforcer, the bulldog, the police officer of China needs to step up. Japan needs to step up. All these people that depend on Iranian oil for their ships to get out to collect their oils for their country, they need to step up. They need to police their own stuff. We don't need to police that. Mm-hmm. And that was part of Trump's campaign promise. And I'm not dogging out Trump. I'm just saying that was part of his campaign promise, that we weren't getting a bunch of useless crap. That's useless American lives for no reason. If a bomb happened or something went down, a submarine, why doesn't Russia go over there and police that? They bought a lot of Iranian oil. You know what I'm saying? They're a big participant. They need to go over there and get their stuff done. The IMF confirms the slowdown in global trade due to conflicts. Now, remember, you've heard lots of talk about global economy rising, but in reality, the global economy is falling because of trade. Now, trade because of technology disputes has a clear and fundamental impact on world trade. The IMF fund chief report retained. The IMF estimates that the fees applied in the midst of the U.S.-China trade war could wipe out, not add to, wipe out 5% of the global economic growth in 2020. This is a decline in the growth of worldwide trade, she said, known in disputes over technology, such as the United States' decision to put China on a blacklist, could also lead to cracks in global supply chain, including concerns about investment productivity. But understand this, tariffs against Hanaway are important because that is a national threat to every sovereign country out there. If they're out there pirating 5G and basically installing spyware into all these different type of military things, that needs to be stopped, and that needs to be slowed. Look, I'm not a globalist. I'm a nationalist, meaning that I believe in God, honor, and country first, and family, right? And I believe that, people are people. I don't dislike other people or dislike other countries. I'm just saying that if I'm going to take care of one country first, I'm going to take care of this country first, because this is where I live. I want to make sure my borders are safe. I'm not saying that walls don't work, but I'm going to give you an example. Everybody in our neighborhood has a fence around their house, right? Everybody.
Around it?
Around it, yeah. So there's a fence around your house, around the side of your house in the back. Mm. There's no fenceless neighborhoods. Mm. And I'm not saying you need to have borders, but you got to have border control. I don't want this to turn to Europe. I think that not because I'm scared of Islam or I'm scared of what Islam brings, but because when you get away from the fundamental ideology of your country, then your country slips, right? That's my thought process. I want America to stay true and stay proud and stay independent. I don't want outside influences. Just like Iraq doesn't want people coming there telling them to run their business, I don't want someone from Canada to come down here and tell me how to run my business, right?
Right.
Okay.
Jeffrey Brown says oil is over $60 per barrel. Just so you know.
And remember, they signed their budget at $56 a barrel, so they're basically
they have a surplus.
They have a major surplus. Matter of fact, at one point they'd saved enough money to run 3 countries for 3 months. So they're on a big time. What do you call that? Bear run or bull run?
Bull run.
Bull run. Run of the bull.
The bull need to bring me my money.
That's not the point. It never is. I mean, I hear that, but that's like a newbie talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, bring me my money. I get it. The idea is understand the journey to get to the destination. If oil is high and if they're fulfilling what they need to do, then you can go to the bank. But if you don't understand that point right there, then we'll never go to the bank because they'll never get there. Don't get mad at me.
I ain't getting mad at you. Show me the money.
Then show me the dong. Show me where dong is even closely remotely near where
you know
they
what?
are.
They're saying somebody said in the chat that like ETA dong soon.
Show me where.
I don't know.
You can't. I can show you where. I can show you exactly where they are. And in the process with the IMF and everybody else. But somebody else show me where they are. They're nowhere close. This is your biggest hope. This is your biggest. And let me tell y'all something. The dong ain't going first. If they are, crickets, call me. Call me. Don't be scared. Call me. Someone post my number, please. I can show you where they are. They're not close. They're not as close as Iraq is. Now, and here's my opinion. If it is true that the Trump administration is in the Middle East negotiating a rate based upon China, then why did they lift the tariffs for 90 days? It wasn't to somehow stimulate the world economy or to push the Dow over 27,000, because that was unimportant as far as our national market. Our national market only comes into play when you think of the fact that what happens if they don't cut the interest rate, because that's going to make the economy collapse. That's kind of like saying speculate on the global collapse for 2020. You got to think about this. There's been so much talk about global eclipse in 2020 that don't you think by now people aren't ready for 2020? You see what I'm saying? So the dong's going to go, and the dong's going to go shortly after Iraq, but the dong's going to get a few things done before they ever get anything going. So show me the money, then why do I keep buying dong every week? I keep buying dong every week because the reason why is because it's going to go one day. Same reason why you should buy Iraqi dinar every week. That's why someone said, well, why would you post up, understand where you are in the investment? Because what did I say exactly here? I'll show you guys. I'll read it to you. Because I thought this was very important.
While you look for that, Josh says, what's the rate you multiply when you're calculating your dinar?
What's the rate?
Mm-hmm.
The exchange rate?
I don't know. He said, what's the rate you multiply your dinar by? That's all.
The exchange rate. Josh.
The exchange rate.
The exchange rate. Let me read you guys something so you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's a speculative investment. So if you're going to run it speculatively, understand this. Understand that at some point, you're going to have an opportunity to make a run on the currency based upon the GMROI, meaning the gross margin on your investment. So if it's on a low side and you can buy it and then you can resell it at a high side, you actually at that point have a chance to make more money than you would have. It's kind of like what you always talked about and this guy keeps saying, I keep saying crypto or crypto. You know what? I don't give a shoot about digital currency, really. I think it's a great speculative run, but the idea of digital currency is this. If there's red, I'm buying, right? If there's green, I'm selling, right? Right?
It depends.
Well, it depends on what?
How much I'm making off of it. I don't always sell when I see green. I hold. I hodl mine.
Why would you? Okay, so if you're talking about currency, why would you hold it if it's about to make money?
Because the potential is greater. I mean, there was a point where I could have sold XRP and I didn't.
So role play with me for a second. Understand this. So let's just say it shows a profit. So let's say XRP is $1. I don't know what it is. I don't know what XRP is. We're using to use XRP because I don't know another name, right? Bitcoin, whatever. It could be widgets.
No, whatever.
It can be whatever you want it to be. So Ripple goes to $2. It was $1. Do you sell it or hold it?
I sell off if it's $2 now, not $1.
Not $1, $2. You're 50% of your money.
I sell off enough coins to re-up to get my initial investment out, and I'm playing with the house's money at that point. I'm riding it all the way through till it hits 7, 10, whatever dollars, because now all my money is out of it. I'm playing with the house's money.
So what's the difference between playing with house's money in digital currency and playing with the house's money as far as physical currency is?
No difference.
There's no difference. So if the streets are red, which the streets right now for physical currency are red because they're cheap, you buy it.
Right.
You buy. You buy dong, you buy dinar, you buy whatever currency you've got on your radar. And then as soon as you start to see it become red or green, right, then you want to sell it, right? Now, depending on what level of green it is, that's where you decide if you want to sell it or keep it, right? That's called float.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no difference between physical currency and digital currency. I think digital currency probably moves faster, right?
Yes, yes.
Much faster. Now, I could be wrong about that. I mean,
it does move faster.
I think it moves faster.
Interesting comment. Robert P. says, Dong is in jeopardy. Chinese factories in Vietnam bypassing the tariffs, and the U.S. is watching.
Age-old story, same thing. As soon as Vietnam decides to either part ways with China and join U.S. trade, that's why I always tell you, the thing that I'm looking for with the Dong, that's why I'm great about Dong. I know what's going to happen. Dong's going to happen before Venezuela to me. But the reason why I'm waiting on Dong is because what I'm waiting on Dong is to see new trade agreements. When I see new trade routes and new trade agreements, I'm happy. If I see the same thing I've been seeing, I'm buying Dong because I know one day it's gonna go higher than it is. But you can't say it isn't because it hadn't changed yet. And Vietnam being a communist state, they have lost their currency a couple times. It's a big risk. I wouldn't say it's for the faint of heart, but right now, while it's not under sanctions and you're buying it, just hodl it and hold it and just don't worry about nothing. Oh, God.
They having fun with your shirt.
I don't care. I love my shirt.
Need another 7 astronauts.
I'm sure they do. Abadi is betting on the summer to get his country back. Abadi, I don't know if Abadi's making the play or if Maliki's media engine is making the play for Abadi. It's funny how negative influences make strange bedfellows. Abadi says he wants to be prime minister. Sistani says he couldn't be prime minister. Mahani's prime minister. He's gotten further than any other prime ministers besides Maliki without being secretary and having people in by proxy. I don't see why they want to kick this guy out, especially before he gets anything done. But it just seems like the Eastern world wants to get rid of him faster than he has an opportunity to get himself into office or keep himself in office. Iraqi producing an economic and social council meeting in headquarters. We already read that. They've opened up the port. Oh, the Iraqi Sustainable Development Plan for 2030. You've seen a lot of news about that. It is not the same thing as the Economic Reform Plan for 2018 through, that's over there. The 2018 plan through 2022. This right here, the important parts.
You want this?
Yeah, this is called the Minister of Planning, the Economic Development Plan of 2018 to 2022. This is under the Sustainable Development and Knowledge Platform for Goals. The Voluntary National Review, Iraq gave theirs. Iraq said that huge constraints, but hold on. The important steps have been also taken in improving governance and rule of law, including through administration decentralization, establishment of high anti-corruption council, and reforms on financial management and services delivery systems. So remember, they've taken care of the digital side as far as banking inclusion, as far as security within banks. And they also have started some reforms as far as financial management have gone. They decentralized themselves from the central bank to the government, and the establishment of a high anti-corruption council. We remember, you keep seeing the theme of a high anti-corruption council because that is key to what's going on. The Iraqi Deposits Guarantee Company. So this is a big time thing. The Iraqi Deposits Guarantee Company, ICSC, announced a joint stock offering of $45 million to the public for subscription. Price per share. They also said, yeah, here it is. The subscription will start on Sunday, the 21st, and the subscription will expire after the expiration of 30 days in the event of subscription to be full shares until the end of the official working hours at the bank in which the subscription process will be transferred, and the amounts that the public will subscribe daily to the CBI to be added to the contribution of 55 billion dinars. So think about it, 55 billion dinars. That's basically like 55 million USD. If you cut the zeros off of it, can you see where they're going with this? This is not rocket science here, right?
I'm ready.
What are you doing?
These are for the coins.
Oh.
I'm being proactive.
Oh, Miss BB's already got the first, was it 30 coins basically in?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she's gotten the first 30 coins basically in for Patreon. So all the Patreon folks are about to get their monies, or excuse me, their coins. Your coins are more than just a currency to say you're in a gang. Those are going to be your entry points into special events. They're also going to be
well, and let me say this: silver went up today. Silver and gold went up today.
Yeah.
So these are 1 troy ounce. So they're now more.
They're worth more than probably the subscription is.
They're worth more. Yeah.
So understand this. With Patreon, you pay for your subscription. You get all the news sources. We talked heavily today about certain factors. We talked about how we're going to utilize the Patreon group, how we're going to elect officers out to the party, how we're going to get things started as far as committee goes. My idea about the foundation and what the foundation is going to go as far as being almost like a bank to investors, right? You're going to have monies available to you because you pay monies in. Monies come out as loans, and that loans are going to stimulate different parts of the economy. And economically speaking, I don't just want to be on this continent, I want to be on several. So I want to have dealings in Europe and in Russia and in Asia. And I have an idea about how to do it based upon some basic principles as far as high yield dividend stocks go, and as far as investment strategies based upon sound economic plans and business plans. Enough about that. So does anybody have any questions now that I've rambled on about certain things? Let me go back here. So let me see here. Pull this down. There's got to be some questions.
I gotta figure out what I do with Seamus's address.
Okay. Oh, babe left. See you later, babe.
ABC, yeah.
Pimp Bay for 2020. All my altcoins I sell go straight into my Bitcoin. That's how Bitcoin keeps going up.
Oh my gosh, Bitcoin. I need a full Bitcoin. I'm trying to figure out where the bottom is at before I jump in. I need a full on Bitcoin.
I don't understand that, because what do you mean the bottom? How do you guys decipher what the bottom is on that? Because
well, what happens is you have a sharp decline, right?
Right.
Is it going to keep going down, or is it going to go back up? Like, has it fully hit the floor?
Bitcoin's supposed to be hitting 100,000 this year.
No, that's not true.
I saw reports of Bitcoin supposedly hitting 100,000.
Can't say that.
So it went on a $13,000
once the Dow hit, that you gonna go cash in your
No.
It's no.
But I'm saying my point being based upon some fact. The idea is that it went to 13,000, which everybody speculated at, right?
Trump made a comment about cryptocurrency and what happened?
Crushed the market, right?
Right.
So, but didn't he come back and amend his talk about XRP? Didn't he say something like his representative say something about what's the coin that they like? The government.
It's XRP. It's in their executive order, but still making those kind of statements. Still making those kind of statements is going to affect the market. It's not like the stock market.
Thoughts on Venezuela? Venezuela is the new Vietnam. As soon as the bad regime is out, we get our guy in. I'm all about that life. Venezuela is like going to be the next Vietnam. And you want to know some free advice? That's my free advice.
So like right now, Bitcoin's $9,642.
9,000. I'd be buying Bitcoin. If it was me, Bitcoin's way down, right? Like 20%. I'd be buying Bitcoin. That'd be me. If I was a Bitcoin buyer, I'd buy Bitcoin.
Litecoin's at $88. Where's the floor? What's the bottom?
So I guess that's where your whole FOMO thing comes out, fear of loss or whatever.
No, fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. I guess the bottom for me would be 20%. Because if it went to 25, what's the difference? I guess, you know what I'm saying? Is that your FOMO law?
There's no FOMO law. It's just a fear of missing out. Most of the time people be like, oh my God, I got to get it. I don't want to miss it. And normally it's the other way up, or when it's going down, right? So like if you look back in March, Bitcoin was $3,000 something. That's it. And look at where we're at today. It's 9,000.
That's huge.
Right.
What stock or what other natural resource, oil, gold, whatever, has that much swing? Right.
Exactly. And there's not one. And then the other thing is like Litecoin was $30 in the end of March as well. And now even on a low, it's at $88 today. It went as high towards the end of last month to 130 something.
I told everybody don't short oil this year. I thought shorting oil was stupid. I said that oil was going to go on a boom. I knew it would, and it did. Not a boom, but it hasn't dropped below basically $55, right? So I would have shorted oil. I would have kept oil. I guess if I was going to trade any other commodity besides digital currency, I guess that would be one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's enough swing there that you can make a little money at it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see any other swing trading daily, even daily stock trading that you can make as much money as you can per day. Maybe Forex if you really had a hold on it, but digital currency is big.
And to me, in the digital market, like you buy certain investments and you just hold on to them. You just hold them. For me, there's so much swing activity in Bitcoin. It's attractive to me. I still have my Litecoin from back in 2017 when I bought it for $30 to $60, and I haven't never let those go. So, I mean, everybody's different, but for me, yeah, I like the swing.
And here's my thing. A lot of people are going to sit and say, well, this is not a digital currency platform. No, it's not. But what we're trying to do is gather the correlation between physical currency and digital currency. And once you get your physical currency to exchange, then you're going to want to put it into revenue streams that are going to produce you some type of passive income. Now, I know this for myself. I'm not going to take my money, right, that I've worked so hard to get, and I'm going to go out there and say, hey, Ms. BB, I got this, right? I'm not a financial advisor nor a financial planner, but I do know Ms. BB has a lot of experience with it, and she knows what she's looking for. Her level of either expectation or decline is going to be different than mine, right? Where she may say, I'm going to swing trade at $250 based on per coin per million. Mine might be 150 because I'm scared. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I tell everybody your level of commitment is going to be different.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't take this as financial advice. Take this as just sound negotiation, right? What am I going to get? When am I going to get it? Because everything else doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So
I posted the number because some people asked about calling.
Yeah, call in, please. I'll go a couple minutes here. Call in.
Oh, Seamus said, if I had $1,000 extra, what would I buy? Long term, AT&T. If you look at the dividends they pay, the stock is like $33. They just did they're exercising their quarterly dividends on August 1st. And I think they're paying something like 50 cents, 60 cents. A Chevron is another. A Chevron, I have a drip on Chevron. So every month they take $50 out of my paycheck and it goes straight to Chevron. I get a portion of their stock, and that dividend a quarter for Chevron's been like $3+ So long term, that's what I would do. And that's just my opinion.
Lisa says oil will go to $25 or less due to increased supply by the U.S. in technology. Iraq needs 56 to survive. Oil has everything to do with the investment. Iraq makes all its money on oil. Hello, it's U.S. key. First of all, that's incorrect. They set their budget based upon futures every year, Lisa. So no, they don't need $56 to survive. You got to look at what it takes to extract the oil per barrel per country. I know the U.S. is about $9. You know what I'm saying? So that's not absolutely true at all. You know what I'm saying? But they want a high surplus because when they set their budget, they'll make more money.
Seamus, what's your mailing address? Check your Facebook Messenger, please.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Brando.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, what's going on? And Miss BB, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you? How are you?
I'm all right. This is Melvin. I got a quick question for you, Mr. Brando. I had something I was thinking about pertaining to the dinar versus the dong. If the dinar goes first, and let's say we go in and we can exchange, $200,000-300,000 dinar and go back to the bank and order 20,000 US in Vietnamese dong,
right,
which would give us what the 200 million or something like that,
right,
in Vietnamese dong. Do you think that the powers that be will allow us to do such things like that? I don't really see that happening. I kind of feel like that's why the dinar may go at the same time as the dong. What do you think about that?
My personal opinion is this. I disagree. And let me tell you why. Because every week I go to the bank and I buy more dong. I don't buy large amounts of it because I can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? But my whole when I talked to the lady there, she said the other day, there's a lot of speculation about this currency. And I said, yeah, it's on a lot of people's radar, right? And I said, if I came in here with $1 million and I wanted to buy 100,000 in dong, could I do it? She said, yeah. The reason is, as long as the central bank has it, they're going to sell it. Okay. There's no such thing as double dipping. That's absolute double dog do. Okay. The powers that be have no control over how currencies fluctuate to that degree on a minute schedule. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say the dinar goes, right? Like all of a sudden, let's say the dinar goes for $1. I'm just using $1, okay? Me and Miss BB run to the bank and say, hey, the dinar's $1. What's the Vietnamese dong today? And they say, well, it's X. And I say, well, put 10,000 on that. They can't stop that at that point. You see what I'm saying? At that point, they'd have to reinstate their currency or reevaluate. They wouldn't have a choice, and that's not going to happen because where they're at with the IMF and their supply chain, it's not going to happen. So you're going to have plenty of time to buy dong.
Right. So do you think that the fact that well, like you say, if it's available, we can buy it on the spot anyway. But do you think that the fact that they know that's possible for us to potentially have the opportunity to exchange dinar and then buy dong on the spot, that may have something to do with why the dinar hasn't, or why the things with the dinar haven't popped off yet, as to why, that may be some of the hesitation or some of the stalling, not stalling, but why it hasn't happened yet?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think, honestly and truly, that if there is such a thing as an elite or the cabal or any of that crap, I think they actually want the dong to go first. The reason for it is the dong has more of a stranglehold on their note count and what they have out there. So there's a lot less people that hold dong that hold probably dinar. Do you see what I'm saying? So if they got their currency up to 4 or 5 cents and the average person was holding less than $1 million, then could you honestly see them saying, man, even if we let this is where my dong argument comes from. If the dong went first, it doesn't help dinarians. You see what I'm saying? If dinar goes first, it darn sure helps dong people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's kind of like cryptocurrency. Excuse me.
Say that one more time.
So if the dinar goes first, it helps Vietnamese speculators on Vietnam and on digital currency, both. Big time. It stimulates the world economy immensely and fast, and ISX. But if the dong goes first, it's the opposite effect. Not that many people hold that much dong. They just don't. So if the dong goes first, it actually hurts dinarians because they don't have access or they haven't prepared for that. You see what I'm saying? So unless they listen to
people such as yourself.
Exactly. I'm hedging dong against dinar. I'm hedging cryptocurrency against both of those. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I have a bunch of my friends and family, we're all involved in this, and so yeah, I do get it. So that was just a question we had bouncing around in our head. So I figured, let me call in and ask and get your opinion on that.
I love that question. I love the question. The question is insightful. It's on point. I love the question. Seriously. I've thought about this. You want to know what keeps Mr. Brando up at night besides Miss BB? This is what keeps me up at night. I sit there, I lay in my bed, and I say, what if the dong really does go first?
Well, hey, I can tell you this. It wouldn't matter to me. Either one. Let's go ahead and do this.
That part right there. But
no buts. I have no regrets on that.
No. I'm saying, but it's kind of like, because we've had that discussion that there could be a slight possibility, right?
Right. Okay, let me tell you this. Worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario, I was totally wrong about Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe actually has a currency that's vibrant and actually exchangeable. Boom, I'm wrong. Number 2, the dong goes first. I'm wrong, right? Now, I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared. Now, dinar goes last for a lot of people, okay?
Finish your thought.
Now, my thought is, if the dong goes first, it doesn't enable me to do what I need to do on a reinstatement platform as far as my investment portfolio goes later on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I got another quick question.
Go ahead.
Wasn't there an article or something you mentioned pertaining to the ISX already having launched, but is
not launched. Getting ready to launch. Not launched.
Get ready to launch.
Ready to launch.
Right. Yeah. So either way, as far as I'm concerned, life is great. You know, I have no concerns. And while I'm on the air, I hope my man is listening. You know, those people over there, they're doing great things, George and the team. And so you as well, Miss BB and Mr. Brando. So I appreciate you all.
Okay, man. I'm going to hang up with you and finish my thought real quick, okay?
All right, cool beans. Have a good one.
You too. Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
But, like, what if, right? Just, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What if the dawn goes first? Like, basically, we're positioning ourselves just in case, either way. So, think about this. You may not get as much wealth off of the dawn than you would the dinar, but why not make sure you're positioned either way?
I can't disagree with that. Okay. Who you talk? Hey, caller. Sorry to told you, but what's going on?
Yeah, my name's Jerry Wild from Bowie. I called a couple times. Good evening, Mr. Brando and Miss BB.
Hey, Jerry. How's it going, man?
Good. Listen, talking about the dinar and the dong. If dinar comes first and then the dong goes and you want to double dip, my question would be, can I take the dinar and convert it right into the dong? In other words, instead of cashing and getting US dollars and then convert?
Yes. I know this for a fact. It's illegal for you to exchange any foreign currency for anything other than United States currency if you live in this country and you're exchanging it in this country. Okay. You can't do that. And if you had an FCA, a foreign currency account, which there's not many of them, I don't know the actual credentials to have one, possibly, but I still think they're going to convert to US dollars and then into the currency that you want. So there's going to be two fees. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. All right, good.
Okay.
Look, as long as the guys are on the line, can I take about 2 minutes to explain something that I was aware about back in the 1970s converting Chinese and what happened with a trade? Can I take a minute to explain that to you? I'm 74 years old, and I lived through the pollution of the United States back in the 60s and 70s. I used to come off a mountain in Pennsylvania and look down into the valley, and the valley was totally polluted. We had acid rain in Lake Erie, Lake Michigan. You couldn't fish anywhere in the United States. The United States was so polluted. Well, what happened was we were told that we're going to export all our manufacturing and business to China because it's cheaper. That was not actually the fact. The fact of the matter is we exported all our pollution is what we did. It was, we could have survived without exporting anything to China as far as labor goes. What we did was exported our pollution. Well, that was 50 years ago. Now China's in the same position we were in 50 years ago.
Yep.
China now has to export their pollution, and they're using the free trade as a way to get it, stop trading with China. The object is we're going to export China's pollution to the Pacific Rim. That's going to be Vietnam, number one, the Philippines, and all those islands around there. So you're going to see, and Malaysia, you're going to see tremendous growth. And they're going to tell you it's because of free trade and labor market. The truth of the matter is, and it's never been reported by anybody, but this is a guy that actually seen it and knows what's going on about it. It's pollution. That is what everybody is exporting. All right, so that's all I had to say on that subject, and I wish you all a good night. All right, thank you.
Hey, good night. Thank you now.
All right.
Bye. No, he makes a great point.
No, I mean, his voice sounds strong.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. I mean, and the second is that pollution. Walmart and China are the world's largest producers of pollution because of the oil tankers going back and forth. Pollutes our oceans and pollutes our waterways. I think what people got to truly understand is that if you're gonna, I'm a person that likes to bet, but I like to bet with smart money. Does that make sense? I don't like to bet with dumb money.
Pepe on the line. Next caller.
Hold on here.
You got on the speaker?
Hey, Pepe.
Hi, my fellow constituents. I just wanted to say, how are you doing?
You stupid, Cole.
Hey, everybody, I love you guys. But look at,
Hey,
love you to death.
Real quick, Pepe, before you get going, real quick. I was in Chase Bank the other day, right? The lady put in the wrong rate for the dong. Damn. Hold on. So you see, I don't know if you guys can see these numbers. The bottom number, 3990, if I were to sell my dong back, that's what they give me. But at the time, my rate is 4762. So you see the difference.
Double your money.
No, not double my money. I'm showing you what the bank is charging people.
Oh wow.
See that's the buy rate
that's
at the top.
Spread.
Yeah. And then the cashing in is 3990. If I took my dong back to Chase, that's that rate that they giving me. It's like a whole point.
Yeah, that's if you own a lot, the small changes like that are significant. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
massively.
Oh yeah, because for what I was buying, can I say the number?
No.
Okay. So for what I was buying, I was like, when she typed that in the computer, I was like, oh, the dog going backwards. And then she looked, cause I said, oh, okay. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I said, wait, well, hold on. You know, I said, well, why did that number come up? She's like, that's if we buy it back from you. I said, so you ripping people off that much?
Yeah, and that's where I took, hold on, Pimpe, and that's where I tell everybody, being part of Patreon, being part of a big buying group, when we go into the bank, I'm not going in with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I'm not arguing that. What I'm going to tell you is, when my group goes into the bank, Patreon group, I'm going to say, look, your buy rate is this and your sell rate is this. We're going to be more in the middle. I demand that. You want 200 future millionaires and billionaires? Then you're going to give me this rate. And they'll do it. I know they will. Life's negotiation.
Yes. When
Life's
you have
negotiation.
a lot of money, that's just how the rich stay rich. And that is, they realize they have enough money in their account that it could affect the bank. And they know this. And so they negotiate rates. If you're dealing in the millions, you can go into your bank and negotiate rates. If they refuse, go to somebody that will. And that's credit union as well. That's big time in it. Okay, well, look, I got a small bet going on with my friend. We got 125 thumbs up. Come on, man. There's one. You know you can make this happen.
Pimpe, you're coming in out bad.
Yeah, what you doing? What you doing?
Quit walking.
I was walking.
I know you're walking. Quit.
I was betting my friend that we can get up to 200 likes. All right? We're at 126. I said, there's 500 people. Why couldn't we get 200 likes? They said, I bet. I'm okay, so let's see. Come on, people. 200 likes. That's all I need. Thumbs up. Smash that damn button.
Smash it. You know, we never ask. You know what, on our channel, we never ask anybody to smash the like button or subscribe. I never do.
You don't say it, but I'm out there here.
Oh, okay. I never do.
Yeah, if you go back there and look through here, yeah.
No, I mean, I believe you. I'm just saying that I never say it because I always figured this is a gang conversation.
It's already at 141. Look, there's a reason why I said it. Because it has a purpose behind it. Look, 152. Watch. You guys gonna make me happy because I'm gonna get that bet. Because I said, no, you don't get it. The people love us a lot more than you think. And he says, if they did, can you get them to hit 200 on the like button? I'm like, hell yeah. So there you go.
167.
I see 169. Okay. Real quick, I want to just make a correction. The ISX is open and is going. For those of you invested in it, it's been steadily going up now for a few months. Mr. P, you said it was not. It is actually open and going. So those people who are invested in the Georgia situation, we've been eyeballing the bejeebers out of those stocks, just so you know.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying that the ISX is open for international business?
It is going. It's not only open, it's going.
No, I know it's going, but it's not open for international business.
Yeah,
well, no. Let me change my statement. It's not on NASDAQ. It's not on the Dow.
No, they have their own. They're called the ISX.
Right. No, I know it's going. No,
186. Keep going, people. Come on.
Then I made a mistake, y'all. I made a mistake, okay? I made a mistake. I'm not saying it's not going. It's going. I get that. But what I'm saying to you guys is that it's not accepted on our, you know what I'm saying? Our NASDAQ or whatever.
Hey, Mr. B, check this out. Not only is it going, if you're really watching it, there's this healthy,
yeah, I know,
steady growth. And it's in small, like, thank God. I watch it. I don't want no spike. I want to go up in healthy increments, and it has been. So, yeah, I watch that sucker, and I'm like, yes, because this is what we want. We want to see a steady, slow growth, not a spike. Come on, 198. We can do this, people. I have faith in you. Anyways, not a spike, because we know what happens when you spike. You get retraction or you get market correction. That's not what we want. And I'm like, oh, come on, I'm watching it. So we do watch it. I just want you guys to know that, it is openly going. And, I've been investing in it. As a matter of fact, I talked to George recently and told him that my goal is after 200. Thank you. I love you guys. I knew we could do this. All you're doing is proving my point, and I appreciate this.
Play your music again.
No, before you hold on, Pepe. Before you play your music, hold on. Pepe, before you play your music, Gerardo says.
For the
Pepe.
We lost
the idea of putting a foundation together to tackle homeless.
Well,
I'm grateful.
Hold on a second.
Okay, Pepe.
Good.
Gerardo says, could Iraq start their reconstruction without reinstating the currency? On the run they are with oil, yes, they could, but they'd run out of currency to support every other effort that they're doing.
No, remember we talked about the budget just for housing alone. Okay, remember me and you? We posted about this, and I was trying to make a point because somebody said, hey, is it going to be reinstated? And what I said in this post is, let me see if I can answer it in a different way that will make you think. And that is this. There's a $4.5 billion dinar, not American dollars. It's a dinar. 4.5 billion dinar, a budget put aside for the housing, it's for infrastructure. And I said, infrastructure. If you look at the current conversion rate, it comes out to just a little above $370 million. What the hell did you think they were going to fix in infrastructure with just 370 plus million? That doesn't make no sense. That's not going to happen. They need that 4.5 billion is after the reinstatement. There's no way they can do it at the current rate. Who are you going to pay with that money? Nobody's going to come in and help you if they're only going to get pennies on the dollar. That's not going to happen. And that's why I use that as an example.
Governments work at a much bigger Daisy. That's Moy. Stop. That's Moy.
Moy must have failed.
Moy must have fell off her segue. Or jumping around on something. Governments, just like sheiks and kings, they don't work on gross marginal investment of double. They work triple, 3 times, four times their money. Okay, please. Okay, she's jumping around. Sorry, y'all. Daisy's alerting us that Moy's doing crazy stuff. The idea is that governments don't work on double margins. They wipe out huge amounts of monies because of, like Pimpe says, if you own massive amounts of it, if it moves a penny, it moves a lot. So they're banking on it moving on a whole bunch more because there's a greater plan for, I think, U.S. economic growth. And I also think for worldwide development because of all the backsliding because of the U.S.-China trade that's taken away from the global economy. So I don't think people, when I say that the dinar has nothing to do with global purpose, that's wrong. What it means is that the dinar has kind of like an offhand to it. Does that make sense? Like it helps it by default. Like it's like the dinar is going to stimulate and do so many things for so many that it's going to change the worldwide economy. And that's why I'm not so much worried about this apocalyptic thing that's supposed to happen in 2020. Because the world.
Zombies will build.
I mean, zombies. Hey, listen. I did a little research on zombies. I don't. No. And Pipe, you know what? I'm gonna make you laugh. So I got all of this zombie thing, and one of my guys, it's a Patreon. He does this thing where he dresses up and like they wear all this camouflage in their hair, and like this dude looked like grass. Like when I saw him, he's like grass. His daughter's in it. His son. His whole family's into it.
We call those militias.
I mean, no, this is a single guy that teaches this. I mean, and I was so impressed by his video. I was like, wow. He's like, and we teach people how to dress up like this, in case of something like Pepe talked about.
Yeah, he's a survivalist.
He's a survivalist. Yes.
I love it.
So impressed by that.
I can't help it. I see it in here. But Ed and my TV, you know what? I'm with you on what you think, but there's a reason why I think that. That doesn't mean I'm going to be right. We don't usually do rates and dates on here. We just don't. Because the one time I did stick my foot in my mouth is when I felt like April was going to be a good month, and it didn't happen. And so I was like, oh, what more could have happened? Well, obviously, since then, a billion more things positively have happened.
Namely the UN. Who knew about the UN? That came from left field. No one.
I mean, I knew they had sanctions,
Nope.
Holy Toledo. Okay, for those of you who don't know what me and Mr. B are talking about, and I think I said this last video, the United Nations Security Council, the International Monetary Fund, the World Trade Organization, all told Iraq, enough already. Change the rate. This is what they're telling them. Change the rate. Back to the point about the reconstruction. If my $10 is going to buy me 1/10 of what I could buy to help rebuild my country, that doesn't make sense. Versus it could be 3 times what I'm holding in my hand to help me rebuild my country. Okay, we made this as an example. Okay, there's a reason for that. I was trying to prove to you that when they said they had $4.5 billion put aside for infrastructure, it wasn't. It was to show you that if you look at the current rate, that's only $370+ million. You're not going to get anything outside of that country. Now, if it was just in country and they're buying everything in country, then you might be able to say, well, they're all using the same currency. That makes sense. But that's not what's happening. There are countries from around the world coming in to help with the reconstruction. And you think they're going to take a currency in which is, as fractions, pennies on the dollar versus what it could be after reinstatement? I mean, that's just common sense. Let's just throw it out there, okay?
Right. And the other part to that is think about, hold on, we got another call. We got one more call here. Hold on. I'll add him, Pimpe.
Call from.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're live.
Is you live or is you live?
I'm freaking live.
Hey, Mr. Brando, Ms. Stevie, how you guys doing?
Great. How you doing now?
Real good, real good. How you doing? This is it. I'm doing good. This is really why I love you guys. I'm a little behind. Oh, there you go. I'm a little behind because I started off late. And I'm listening to you guys talk about the Dom and Vietnam, Venezuela may go first and Vietnam may go first. And I'm saying, God, if we know that the dinar is going first, why not put all our resources in the dinar so that we can utilize more resources for the Dom? But then you just said, what if I'm wrong and the Dom goes first? And you said, but I'm all right. And I said, damn, I'm not all right. The Dom goes first. I missed the boat completely. And I just want to thank you because even if I just pick up $100, $1 million or $2 million, just so that I can say I'm winning, you know what I mean? Yep. So sisters, I finally talked them into. Look, you guys got to have like $125 of discretionary money. Pick up like 100,000 dinars. It's going to change your life. They were stubborn at first, but now not only have they picked that up, but now they're picking up other small amounts because they realize you could buy smaller increments. Look, if you can't afford to buy big chunks, you don't need to do that. You could go on there and buy smaller amounts. If you have $50, you can pick up, 30, 40 grand, buy it. All you got to do is think of, this is going to be 3.5 times that much. This is going to be, 3.22 times that much. That's all you got to think about. If that's the case, every chance you get, as long as it's discretionary, pay your bills. I don't want you to go hawk your home, hawk your car. You know what I mean? Don't do that.
No.
But what I'm saying, if you got some discretionary money, you feel me, Mr. B? Like, look, if you got like $50, $60, pick up $20,000, $30,000 in dinar. Dude, it's going to make a difference in your life once this happens.
Can I tell y'all something real quick? Let me tell y'all something real fast. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Here's my order of buys. I buy dinar. I buy dong. I buy what limited crypto or digital currencies I can on Coinbase, and I buy silver. I buy a lot of silver, right? And I started buying silver because of you guys. But these are hedges against my dinar. I'm hedging. I'm betting against. Listen, the idea is that I'm going to bet so good that I'm going to be wrong, but I'll still be right, if that makes sense.
I didn't tell you this. Almost 7 weeks ago, silver was $12.35.
Yep.
It's above $16 right
$17,
now.
almost $20 a coin. So this is why I tell people about Patreon.
That's different. What you guys are doing, Mr. B, you're looking, but you're what you're purchasing is what numismatic collectors would do.
Right. No.
Your coin has a collectability besides the fact that it has precious metal in it. There's a collectability about it to collectors, and that is it's uncirculated. So it adds more value to your coin besides the metal value.
But the idea is this. The investment was as such that when I bought it at, let's say, $12, $15, it's already accrued some value. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're a Patreon and you join, and like I bought these coins at whatever, and I give you one, you made money on your investment all the way.
Hell, that pays by itself alone.
That's 1 month free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
1 free month.
1 free month. And I'm not, listen, the idea is not to get rich off Patreon. The idea is to build a platform of like-minded individuals that have a goal in mind. This is kiddie stuff to what I want to talk about on Patreon. It has nothing to do with fiat currencies to the point where we're talking about. But what it does have to do with is building wealth. How do you guys put forth a portfolio that has enough passive income that when you do get your blessings in, what are you going to do with your money that you're not spending your money, but somebody else is paying you passively, that you get rich and you stay rich? That's what I'm talking about. I don't care about the fiats. The fiats are going to afford my lifestyle from time to come. I'm right about that. What I'm not right about is when I get to that point where, hey, look, I got all this money now. Y'all, I got all this money. Now when I'm sitting at home, if I want to spend $100,000 on a car or $200,000 on a car, I'm not spending my money. I'm spending my passive income money. I never touch the principal. That's what we talk about when we talk about Patreon.
Oh, man, you just, again, we talked about this. The words of the gentleman talking in Davos always haunts me. He was talking about the people who became millionaires from the Kuwait dinars. And this is what he said, and it still haunts me today. And that is this. Over 85% of the people who became new millionaires because of the rate change with the Kuwait dinar were broke within 5 months.
Yep.
Broke. Millions. We're talking about millions of dollars. These people had millions of dollars and they were broke within 5 months. What you want to do is tell yourself this. What kind of budget can you live off per month? I can live off like $3,000 more comfortably. You know what I mean? After your house is paid off, hell, I can live off $2,500. What you need to do is invest in something in which your interest is going to then pay you your allowance per month. And your allowance should be whatever you think you can live off per month. Just like Mr. Brando said, so that you're not touching your damn principal and you're living off the interest. If you're touching your principal and it's going lower and lower, you're going to be part of that 85%. Okay?
You'll be broke.
Get broke within 5 months.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And that's the difference.
I love you guys.
And I love you too, man. And that's the difference between listening to our channel and listening to somebody else that says, well, give your money to Merrill Lynch.
Right.
If you give your money to somebody else, then you're there.
To make not only you rich, but to keep you rich.
Yeah, and they're making a commission off your money. I don't want anybody. Look, I tell Patreon members this all the time. There are no partnerships. We own everything. There are no percentages. We just pay out. So if someone wants to be a part of it and they want to buy into that deal, pay us. You can get in. Now, we pay out. I don't do partnerships.
If I may give you an example, and Miss Dee probably can get on this one. Okay? Let's just throw a hypothetical out there, Miss Dee.
I'm listening.
You get 10 people. 10 people. 10 people that say, let's do this as a group. 10 people. Each one of us throwing $1 million, right? We got $10 million. $10 million. And they say, we trust you to stir this ship. Go ahead and do what you guys do on cryptocurrencies, right? If we time this right, with $10 million, we can make $500,000 in a day. That gives everybody $50,000. Come on now, most of these people out there don't even make $50,000 in a year. Okay? If we're making it in a day,
you know what impressed me, Pimpe? You know what
money like that.
Let me tell y'all this. What impressed me was Pimpe and Miss BB's swing trade. And I wish I could have started a chat just for swing trading for this. I'm not interested, but the whole aspect of buying and selling did. Miss April came back and told me, hey, Brando, I made $21,000 today. And I thought to myself, How long would it take me to accumulate $21,000? Hard money. Not make it, but I mean bring home. You don't have to make $29,000, almost $32,000, right? So that's the idea of the buying group. The group says, hey, today we're buying this. Tomorrow we're buying that. You collect your money, you pull it out. This is beyond the investments of the group. This is what I say. We're going to multiply your money. I want to create multiple streams of income based upon a group. Collectively, I can do it by myself, but it makes more sense with the group. I have more buying power. There's more swing to it.
Much more sense as a group.
Absolutely. As a group. Collectively, listen, by myself, I'm dumb, okay? Collectively, I'm smart.
Look, in 1911, a handful of millionaires got together on an island. They concocted this idea that developed the Federal Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Those bankers, J.P. Morgan, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all started off with several $1 million. Today, they are the wealthiest families in the world because they collectively put their wealth and their power and influence together and made smart business decisions.
And why not us? Why not us? And why not now? Why not? Why not? We're as smart as they are. We're as capable as they are. At one point, we'll have as much money to start up as they will. The only thing that we will not have at that point is
I don't know if
time.
Your phone is breaking up on me, by the way. I'm not moving this time.
Y'all, we can do this. When I talk about a group, man, it's not about the entry fee for Patreon. That's not the point. The point of Patreon is to get enough like-minded people together that when it's time to swing trade, you put 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. Could you imagine if you guys dumped the per capita that China dumped into Bitcoin?
The sky is the limit.
What?
It really is. The sky is the limit if you can collectively analyze the situation and attack it properly. Okay, that's the goal, is to go, okay, where is the smart place to place your money in which you can get to grow the fastest and grow the safest? That's the smart money. But there's a huge part of me, again, not to bring it up, but, you know, I mentioned this last time when I had overwhelming respondent, and that is, look, we got to also give back to the community, man, because I believe that whatever you put in the universe comes back to you tenfold, right?
Right.
That is,
I agree.
There's a lot of people out there that really need help. So I'm hoping that, you know, a lot of you people, not so much your money, I'm not saying donate money, as much as I would love for you to donate your time to help me get involved with tackling this homeless situation. It's been irritating me. It's been on my mind. Sorry to mean to dump that on you guys, but
nah.
Yeah, it's been. I can't stand seeing it anymore.
Hey, y'all.
Day I see it.
Y'all, we got one more call. Let me see if I can add him real quick. Hold on.
Call from.
Hello?
Morning.
Hello.
Hey, I'm going to add you. Hold on real quick.
Thank you.
Hello?
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 Hello, I'm here.
Okay.
Your name is I'm here?
I'm here. You here?
No, I'm Tom. I'm here. You. Tom, is that what you say your name is? Yeah. Tom, how you doing?
I've been listening to you guys. I've been pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. I've been listening to you guys since January. I got in this dinar game in December. So I'm not that old in this book, but I've watched the gurus that you guys have been talking about for, you know, since December. And full of shit, man. Crazy. But I do have a question. How does the dinar reinstatement or how does it affect actual Iraq citizens? It doesn't change a damn thing for them, right?
No, it does. I'll tell you how. So if I live in Iraq, right, and where it would take me, let's say, $30,000 to buy a loaf of bread, right? Weird example, off number, okay? But when I can go in there with 3 $1 dinar notes, it truly affects it. Because now I'm saving 27,000 dinar. Okay?
Yeah.
So purchasing power, simply put, is this. My dollar goes further. So
yes,
Do you remember back in the olden days? And I don't like the gold standard, but I'm going to use an example. In the 1970s, when I don't like the gold standard, I'm not shy about that, but I'll say it. But when a loaf of bread was 15 cents when the gold standard was in place, now today it's $3. I can see why people like the gold standard. I can.
Well, it restricts the government from overspending on unnecessary BS. It really does. And it forces them to focus more on the people instead of finding ways to funnel money that they can get back into them. Okay, that's what I love about it. Really, it handcuffs their spending habits is what it does. And that's important because we are one of the richest and most wealthiest nation right now. Could you imagine what would happen if we handcuff the spending habits of our government? That's what the gold standard does.
And I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer because I got so many people on the line. I got some people in chat, but it's an hour and a half, y'all. We don't go this long.
Oh, damn.
Miss April already told me I'm going to bed. So I got to hang out with y'all. I love you guys. We'll talk more. We're going to do a Patreon tomorrow about gold and spending and investment strategy. If you want to join Patreon, join it. If you don't and you hate on it, don't. But join if you want to. But everybody on the line, thank you for calling. Thank you, everybody, for all the thumbs up. 225 likes is what I have right now currently. I love it,
everybody.
Man. Thank you.
Much love to everybody.
Pimpé, check your text messages.
I'm going to call back on Friday.
Okay.
What did you say, Miss April?
The person said that they're going to call back on Friday. And I said,
Do so.
Please do so. And then I was telling you, Pimpé, to check your text messages.
Will do. All right.
And you guys, love all you guys, man. Invest. Keep buying. Don't be nervous. When there's blood in the streets, buy. When there's green on the signs, go. And I will see you guys on Friday. It's Wednesday. We'll see Friday. Patreon will see tomorrow about another investment strategy. We'll talk about the infrastructure, the foundation, everything else. And I will see you guys on Thursday, Patreon, Friday, YouTube. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.